Okay, part two. I started taking some stuff apart. I took the tires off. I took the sway bar down links off. I took all my cotter keys out and back my castle nuts off. Yes, I know I don't really necessarily have to pull those ones off with the lift. It will, however, make it easier, which you don't have to do either, but I don't like them being attached and floppy for the upper and lower ball joints. I got the Moog ball joints, so I'm gonna start blowing off some weight. I'm gonna get these hubs off. I'm gonna go have them turned. I would like to restore the dust shields anyways. So this is what I normally do. So I'm being cheap. I'm not gonna buy tie rod ends yet, maybe. I normally will get some pressure on there because a pickle fork will rip your boot, which, no, that's grease. And get some pressure underneath there, and then you smack it on the side with a hammer and it comes down. I'm trying to refrain from using heat so I don't melt my boot or burn out all the grease out of there. Normally it comes out, but if not, then we're gonna have to go with pickle fork heat, and then I'm just gonna have to buy a tie rod end. I don't have the, what do you call it, the puller tool for that. I'll remove the shocks. So what you do is leave the castle nut on there a little bit. I got it on the pitman arm because I have a drop pitman arm now for the kit. And what I like to do is I like to get all the weight off. So we're gonna get these out. I have to take the upper and lowers off, so I'm gonna take the axles out. I did try to, here's a little tech tip. I did check the check plug on my differential just in case the oil was leaking around the seal where it mounts to this housing right here. And maybe that's where the oil's coming from, other than it wouldn't sling up unless you're in four-wheel drive all the time. So I had a feeling it wasn't. It just dripped down. But either way, that drain plug's right there on the right of the pumpkin. I stuck my finger in there and it's barely low, so that's not leaking. But if that was empty, I would be pulling that differential off this housing and putting a new seal in there. I probably should anyways, I might still, but it's not really that necessary. I'm gonna leave that one alone. I'm not gonna need to do anything with that. And what I like to do is get the weight off of the ends. I got to change the ball joints anyways and get my rotors turned. So regardless, it has to come off. I've never done a leaf spring with the twin I-beam. I've done coilovers, but in the past, what I've done is I will leave this leaf spring hooked up, and I'm gonna buzz my bolts loose for my brackets. I gotta clean all that gunk up anyways. I got a case of brake clean coming, and I'm gonna drop those down. So they're gonna scissor down, and then I'm gonna clean that all up and paint it, let it dry, and I'm gonna replace my brackets with the drop brackets from the kit, and I'm gonna put those back up there in place loosely, and then I'll get a floor jack underneath the the hub over there, and I'll lower that, and then I'll remove the spring. So what happens is you'll remove the spring, it'll flop down, and since that's so far up in the middle of the truck, by the time you put the new spring in, it's gonna be canted at an angle like that to where you're not gonna be able to push your bolts in. And with it dropped like this, it's already twisted pretty good. It's already in a bind, way behind. Willing to make a deal. No, Charlie's Daniels. Okay, just me. Oh, there we go. There's one right here in front of my face. So what that's going to do is, when you put those in there, that's going to be nice and buttery level. So when I go to pull that bolt out, it's not going to be a nightmare because there's no weight on it, and they scissor like down and in like this. And that's why that's happening. So if I was to put my leaf spring on there with a 4-inch lift, imagine how much more of a bind that'd be, and that'd be next to impossible. The other route is drop the whole thing. I only have one floor jack though. If you have two floor jacks, you can. You could drop the whole thing. You could put one on each side, drop the middle brackets, let it flop down, drop your leaf springs, let it flop down, put your leaf springs on, your brackets on, and bring it all up. But that's just, it'll sit there and twist in and out, and back, and it's a nightmare. So I like leaving something attached. I'm gonna get this sway bar on my way because clearly that's gonna hit here soon. This is the way that I like to do it. Just a little tech tips, gonna go a little smoother. I'm gonna keep pausing though, and then I will do a little at a time for now. So these hubs, just so you know, I'm gonna pull these bolts out to get, oh wow, I'm not even pointing at it. Get all these out. I'm probably gonna leave those off and get some orange. I'm gonna take my caliper off. I'll probably may or may not sandblast that or get new yet. I don't know. We'll see how they are. There's no lip on there at all, so I can turn those. But you pop these off, get your caliper out of the way. take the lock and the nut off after you've pulled your hub out of the way. And there's bearings in here, and it'll slide out. Because as you can tell, the rotor's in behind the hub. And then what I'll do is I'll knock all these studs out, and that'll separate the hub from the rotor. And then I'll sandblast this. They'll sandblast that and turn that. And then Bob's your uncle. I don't know who Bob is, but he's your uncle, and everybody says it. So, oh, that reminds me, since I'm sitting here, I forgot. I'm gonna remove the drive line, get it out of my way. I got new seals coming for that differential, the rear differential, and the transfer case yokes, all of them. They all appear to have a little bit of oil. Again, I think that this one's coming from the valve cover down because it's coated all through here. The only concerning part was this was pretty nasty. I've cleaned a lot of that off. So it may or may not be a power steering leak as well. That might be where all this is coming from, but it's definitely been leaking for a while because that's old dirt and it's all soaked in. And I clearly haven't drove it very much. Yeah, and then all new U-joints, front to back. I'm already, when in Rome, right? I'm already here. I might as well replace that one too. You don't have to. I don't feel any slop in it. In fact, I was prying off of that to pry this down a second ago, and I didn't get no slop. So I'm going to pause. I'm going to bust a few things loose, and then we'll go from there. I hate these. These are the stupidest thing ever. I mean, they're probably nice if you actually need them cantilevered. But to find a regular set without the ball on the end is next to impossible. You got to order them, especially even off the Snap-on truck. And then you only have this little point right here that's actually making contact when you're doing it straight. And then why on earth, being small, do you ever think that that's a good idea? So now I got a predicament. Snapped off right in there. So I'm gonna get my glasses on. I'm gonna get a little chisel and try to wiggle it free and get it out of there. This is how it should have came. This is after it broke off. Where's it at? There we go. Focus. That's after it broke off. That's how they should be. And then another neat thing, that one's stripped out. So that's cool. So what I'll probably do is take the next size up of this ball one and beat it in there as far as I can and try to see if I can't get that loose. If I can't, I'll take a, boy, I don't know. I'll try to jam a Torx in there and get it loose, I guess. Stay tuned, folks. Okay, well, I haven't even tried this yet, but I got the Torx that's around the size of that, and I beat it in there. So let's see. You guys are finding out with me that this isn't very fun. Boy, I'm out of ideas after this. I really don't have to drill it out. I mean, I guess I could. I gotta set the phone down for a second here. So I guess you could drill it out till this head's gone so you can slide it off and then grab a pair of channel locks and get it out of there. But that tells me I'm going to go ahead and order hubs just because now my Bolticusses are messes up. And to find those around here, probably next to impossible. So I'm going to knock that out of there and maybe beat a Torx into that one if I have to and get it out. I'll be back. Well, I usually don't lose my cool very often. And I guess I didn't really technically lose it, but you can't get those things to stay in there without stripping them out for the life of you unless you break one off in there. And then I got frustrated and then I was trying to beat past the bolt to see if I can get... I'm going to take the disc grinder and I'm going to grind all this off till it's past the head. because there's no way you're getting a drill bit through that hard steel. It's just going to keep skipping off and drilling into somewhere you don't want to anyways. Yeah, I had to get my cheaters because I can't see in that kind of definition. That's all blurry to me. Ex-timber faller, lots of eye injuries. They say wear your safety glasses, but stuff bounces off your cheek and goes into your eye anyways. Okay, well, this is not the proper way to do things, but it's gonna work. Be right back.